Hey fourth grade, welcome back to Art with Miss Buchelt. I'm glad I could see you again today. And we are going to be doing our step 2 to our Cezanne still lifes. Now what you should have had done already is you should have followed your roll a masterpiece, Paul Cezanne, and on that resource that I had given you, you were supposed to roll the dice and it told you what objects you should be putting into your still life. When I did mine, this is how it turned out. Okay, my background was I needed to have kind of this these rectangles with the floor, and then my table has this shape to it. And then I rolled a bottle, a pear, a peach, and a bowl to put it in. Okay, so this is how I arranged my still life. All of our still lifes are going to be different, okay, because not everyone's going to be able to roll the exact same numbers. And even if you did roll the exact same numbers, there's no chance that it would be in the exact same spot as somebody else's, because we're not all in the classroom together. So as you're going and adding your color today, there's a couple of key things to keep in mind. Okay, we're keeping in mind a light source and our shadows. Now, a light source is the direction that the light is coming from. Right now, my main light is coming from this place. I have a lamp right above my head here, and it's shining down on me so that it's strongest right here on my face. If I turn my face, see how the light moves? Okay, and it's darkest, it casts a shadow like underneath my hair here or on the back side of my head. Okay, now we are going to be doing that same thing in our drawing here. Okay, we're going to be finding a light source. Now, anytime there's a light source, it casts a shadow. The best way to remember this is when you go outside and the sun is shining down on you. The sun is the one light source outside. Okay, it is shining on you no matter what. And on a very sunny day, it will cast something behind you called a shadow. Now, we are all familiar with shadows, okay, but you need a light source to be able to get a shadow. So if you notice on cloudy days, the sun isn't shining as hard and you don't have a strong shadow, okay, and that's because your light source is not strong enough. We are going to be adding a light source into our Cezanne still life, and that's going to be casting a shadow. All right, so today you'll get to choose what kind of coloring tool you would like to use, but I am going to use crayons. I find crayons to be an easy way to blend the colors. Now, we just got done learning about oil pastels in class, and we did those flowers and we knew how to blend with those. It's going to be a similar concept with crayons, okay? They're not as soft, they're a little bit harder, but if you overlap the colors, they mix, okay? Just like the oil pastels do. And you can even use a white crayon to go on top of it to kind of help blend those crayons a little bit better. But I'm going to use crayons, but markers will work. They're just a little bit harder to blend colors or to mix them. And colored pencils do work really well. If you would like to try doing watercolor paint, go ahead, but that is another sort of technique that I won't show you in today's video, but maybe in a future video you'll get to see the watercolor technique. So go ahead and choose your coloring tool. I'm using crayons, so if you want to go the exact same way as I am, go ahead and grab your crayons and your still life, and let's get going. Okay, the color choices are going to be up to you on what colors you're going to use. In mine, I'm going to use kind of like a red to do, actually, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to do blue as my tablecloth. Okay, so I got my blue crayon. This is my tablecloth here. Now, I have lots of different kinds of blues, so I could use multiple different types of blues as I'm creating that, just to kind of have a choice of, do I want dark blues, light blues, medium blues, what is it that I would like? Okay, so there's my tablecloth colors. I have a peach here, and I know a peach has a bunch of different kinds of oranges in it, and even like some lighter colors like a yellow. So I'm gonna grab some different tones of orange and yellow for my peach. This is a pear. Now, my experience with adding color to pears is I tend to go more towards kind of a green, and sometimes there's brown in pears, so like brown pears, and maybe another kind of green here, okay? So I have greens and browns, a very yellow green, a regular grass green, and a brown. So that's gonna be my pair. And the bottle can be whatever you would like your bottle to look like. I think I'm going to do my bottle using, maybe I'm just gonna do my bottle using gray and black, so I'm using neutral tones for that, okay? Because I want my bottle to not be see-through. I want my bottle to be like it's been spray painted or it's made of something other than glass. So there is my bottle colors. And then my background here. So I think I'm going to make mine really colorful, and I'm going to do purple for the tiles, kind of these rectangle tiles in the background. And for my floor, I think I am going to go back to using my gray. Okay, so my gray is ready here. So I have all my colors picked out, and I'm gonna be ready to start adding my color. So we talked about a light source. Okay, now a light source is, like we said, when the light is shining from one direction. So if I were to draw up in this corner here, a circle with some lines shining this way, okay, that's a reminder that I'm gonna have my light source coming from this way. Okay, so that means everything on the left is gonna have the lightest color, and it's gonna fade to the right to get darker. Okay, so light is on the left, think L and L, light on the left, okay, and then as you move to the right of your paper, it turns darker, okay, because the further you get away from a light source, the darker something becomes. And we also will do our shadows at the very end. So if I'm gonna be starting on doing, oh, I forgot to choose a color for my bowl. How about, I'm gonna do this kind of purpley blue color for my bowl. Yeah, okay. This is called Pacific Blue. That's what I'm using for my bowl. Okay, so if I'm gonna start with my bowl here, for example, my light source, so the lightest of my blues is gonna be on the left side of my bowl, and as I work to the right, it's gonna be darker. Okay, so I'll show you first how to do that. Now remember, I'm not pressing down really hard at first. It's easier to get darker, but it's harder to get lighter. Okay, because remember, crayons cannot be erased. So always start light and then work your way darker by pressing harder and harder. Okay, so I gave one tone of color here to my bowl. Now, I said I wanted it lightest on this side. So that means I'm gonna start pressing down on my crayon a little bit harder as I am moving to the right side of my bowl. And you'll start to see that it changes to a darker color. Now I'm pressing harder on my crayon because I wanted it to get darker as I moved to the right. Remember, don't press hard until you're ready to go dark. So you'll see an obvious change in color here, light blue going into the dark blue. Now inside of the bowl, there's a peach blocking the light. Okay, so if something's blocking the light, we know that it makes a shadow. So inside of our bowl is going to start dark on the bottom and it'll move light as we get to the top because this part of the bowl is being hit by the sun. So I'm still going to start off by doing one sort of medium tone of my crayon color here, just like that. And then we just said that I need to get darker. So I'm going to press harder where I know that shadow needs to be inside of the bowl. And then I'm going to start lifting up on my crayon as I get up to the top so that it blends nicely into the color that I had before. Okay, so now it looks like there's an inside to my bowl here. If you want to take this a step further, you can even go over with a black or with a gray to help make those even darker. It will just make it have more dimension. It'll make it look like something's actually sitting into that bowl. Okay, so I'm going to go do all of my color of my still life here using my crayons with my light source on the left. Remember, light on the left. and then fading it darker as it goes to the right of my page. Then at the end, I will add my shadows. Okay, so here's my Paul Cézanne still life. Okay, now if you look really carefully here, you will see that I created shadows underneath my objects. Okay, and even here for the peach, okay? So because our light source is coming from this corner and it's hitting our objects from the left, that means the dark is on the right. Okay, so all of our shadows are gonna be moving to the right underneath our objects. See how that makes it look like it's actually sitting on a table? Now, one thing you probably noticed is that I also was treating each object like its own shape. Okay, so back here with these rectangles, I thought of each rectangle as going from light to dark, just like my light source would want. The same on my floor, light to dark, light to dark, light to dark. Okay, do you see my pattern there? Light to dark. Okay, so in each shape, you're going to be trying to find those lights and those darks, with our light source being on the left. Remember, light on the left, and it gets darker as it goes to the right. Now, I want you guys to understand that this is a little bit more advanced way of drawing, okay? Adding color and having value, okay? Value is the change of light to dark in an image. But it is helping you become a better artist because now you can use your knowledge of making a light source, creating something to have a light and a dark side. It will help your objects look more realistic. It'll help it look more three-dimensional. And as you go on to the older grades in art, you'll get to be learning how to develop that skill even more. So do not be discouraged. This is probably your first time adding value like this. Okay, so believe in yourself, know that you were made creative, so there's no way that you can't be, okay? Everyone is gonna have their own gift and ability that God has given them, and it's up to you to show that gift and how God has given that to you and give Him the glory for that gift. So have fun. Now, if you find that you have any questions, any at all, about how to add the value into your still life and the color, you need to just ask me. Reach out onto Seesaw, ask a question underneath my video, okay? Or take a picture and ask a question under your picture like, Miss B, I forgot, how do you find the shadows? Or I'm not really sure if I put my shadows in the right spot. Go ahead and ask me any of those questions, and I'm always looking and I'm ready to respond to you on Seesaw. I will not see you guys on Monday because it's Easter Monday, but I will see you next Wednesday. So I hope you have a fantastic Easter and that you enjoy again to celebrate the gift of Jesus rising from the dead and dying on the cross for us so that our sins can be forgiven. I love you guys and I miss you, and happy Easter.